Hello, I'm Sally Evans and I'm a business psychologist. I spend much of my working life helping people find the positive in life and helping them to improve their well-being. I wonder if you know what activity is easy to adopt and will absolutely boost your mental and your physical health too. Well, it's the simple act of grateful thinking. There is actually a lot of scientific evidence now to suggest that the powerful practice of expressing gratitude opens the door to a far more joyful and fulfilling life. Decades of scientific research have actually revealed that gratitude can increase our happiness, it can strengthen and boost our immune system, practicing gratitude can help us sleep better, it can actually help us socially, and it also boosts our work productivity too. So with all of these benefits, it's absolutely clear that the practice of gratitude must be a worthwhile pursuit. Psychologists have actually defined gratitude as a positive emotional response that we actually perceive when we give or we receive a benefit from somebody else. Often though, with our busy lives, it can actually prevent us from taking the time to feel grateful. We often don't take the time to stop and to pause. We may actually be going through a really tough time at the moment and we can't possibly sometimes see any good in life or anything to actually be grateful for. However, over time, what we know is that if we take the practice of gratitude slowly, it can help us to heal, it can help us to soothe, because it actually shifts our negative emotions to more positive ones, which are helpful for our well-being. So when we are grateful, we focus on what we appreciate and we focus on what we can cherish in life, rather than on what we lack or what we may want. When we practice gratitude, we become more aware of the beauty of nature and the love and the support of our family and friends. So the word gratitude is derived from the Latin word of gratia, which means grace or graciousness or gratefulness. And in some ways, gratitude encompasses all of these meanings. With gratitude, people acknowledge the goodness in their lives. In the process of feeling grateful, we can quite often come to recognise that the source of the goodness in our life actually lies partially outside of ourselves, but it also can lie inside ourselves too, in terms of how we think about life. As a result, gratitude also helps us to connect with something larger than ourselves, whether that's with other people, maybe to be grateful about nature, or even to a higher power. So in positive psychology research, gratitude is strongly and consistently associated with far greater happiness and with greater life satisfaction. Because the important thing about practicing gratitude is that it helps us have more positive emotions. It enables us to relish the good experiences that we're having in our life, and it can improve our health. Now this enables us to deal better with adversity and can help with our resilience too. But it also can help us build far stronger relationships. Now, we can feel and express gratitude in multiple different ways. Have a look at this model. We can apply gratitude to our past, perhaps by retrieving positive memories or being thankful for elements of our childhood or past blessings or good things that have happened to us. We can apply gratitude to the present, perhaps by not taking our current good fortune or our good health or our family's health and circumstances for granted. Or we could be grateful for the future, for example by maintaining a really hopeful and optimistic and positive attitude about what's about to come. What is important is that gratitude is a real quality that we can all learn to successfully cultivate further, but it does take some practice. There are also many studies that have looked at how gratitude can actually improve our personal relationships too. So for example, there was one study of couples that found that the individuals who took the time to express gratitude for their partner out loud to them not only felt more positive and patient towards the other person more of the time, but they also felt more connected to them and felt more comfortable expressing concerns about that relationship. Significant improvements were found as a result of expressing gratitude. So I would think that's a definite win-win if we all try to do this a little more often. So practicing gratitude helps our mental well-being, and I've explained this already. And this is because it's a way for us to focus our energy on what we have in the current moment, instead of always reaching for something new or something different or something we don't have in the hope that that will make us happier. Practicing gratitude helps us to avoid the dissatisfied thinking that we sometimes have when we yearn for something else, or where we yearn for another material need which just isn't being met in our lives at the moment. So practicing gratitude helps us to refocus on what we have instead of on what we lack. And although that may feel a little contrived at first, this mental state actually grows stronger and stronger with use and with practice. So here are some ways in which you can learn to cultivate gratitude on a regular basis in a very easy way in your life. The first way is to write a really heartfelt thank you note. You can make yourself happier and you can nurture your relationships with another person by writing a thank you note that expresses your enjoyment or your appreciation of that person's impact on your life. Just reflect for a moment if there's somebody in your life who you'd like to thank. Hopefully you will choose to send that letter to them, or even better yet, you can hand deliver it to them, give it to them, or even read it to them. And this will have a massive impact on your well-being as well as on theirs. So make a habit of sending at least one gratitude letter a week. Once in a while, you might want to write a gratitude letter to yourself. The expression of thanks fires a neurotransmitter which is called oxytocin. And this is fired not just in your brain, but also in that of the recipient. So oxytocin reduces cortisol levels, and this is really important for us because it can reduce our blood pressure and reduce anxiety. As a result, the firing of oxytocin by giving and receiving thanks induces a real feeling of bonding, of empathy, of support, and of calm. Now, another way to cultivate gratitude perhaps is to think about somebody mentally. So if you don't have time to write, or maybe you're a little bit embarrassed about writing a letter, it may just help to think about somebody who has done something nice for you, and just think about that individual and what they've done. Being in that moment long enough to really appreciate, notice, and be grateful for the things or the people in your life is still hugely beneficial for your well-being. Even saying it out loud, how grateful you are for the rain today, or how grateful you are for the sunshine today, can really start your journey to far better mental health. Another important way that we know that expressing gratitude really works to help us is to keep a gratitude journal. This is a surefire way to increase the positive emotions that we need to help us improve our mental well-being. So, making a habit to write down 3 things that have gone well each day in your journal. I call this WWW practice, what went well. You can do this at the end of the day or during the day. You can be really grateful for the little things such as the sunrise or the easy flowing traffic, or you can be grateful for the really big things happening in your life, such as your child's first steps or a child's graduation. Another way to express your gratitude is to count your blessings. So very similar to writing in the gratitude journal, but slightly different. Because this time you pick a time every week to sit down and write about your blessings. Reflect on everything that went right for you this week and what you are grateful for. Sometimes it might help to pick a number, give yourself a challenge. Say, I'm going to write down 3 to 5 things that you will identify each week. Now, the important thing is as you write, you need to be specific and think about the emotions and the sensations that you felt when something good happens to you. When you recall a positive memory, it is hugely beneficial. Now, my last suggestion, and a particularly important one, is a combination of meditation and mindfulness. Mindfulness meditation involves focusing in the present moment and without any judgment about what's happening in your life at the moment. What I mean by this is finding some peace and quiet and calm and just being in that moment. In that moment, notice your senses. What can you smell? What can you hear? What can you see? Some people will often focus or repeat a word or a phrase such as peace. and repeat this slowly. But the important thing is to notice your slow breathing at this time. Breathe deeply in and deeply out. As you do this, try and focus on what you are grateful for in that moment. The warmth of the sun, the pleasant sound of the birds, or the smell of the flowers that are around you. Wherever you are and whatever you are doing, it is absolutely possible to pause for a brief moment in life and appreciate the situation and be grateful. Perhaps for your smiling neighbour, the nice postman, the milkman who brings you milk each day, the person who lets you out in the traffic, the way your children are behaving at the moment, your helpful and supportive colleagues. As you learn to appreciate the small moments in life and be in the present, just as they happen to you, you will notice that after a few weeks that your well-being actually starts to improve. There's a real important reason for this, and this is the way in which your neurotransmitters are now firing in your brain, searching for the positive in life. Over time, perhaps consider sharing your thoughts with people who are with you in that moment. Share how grateful you are that they are there with you and what they are there doing to support you and help you. Thank them. It's so beneficial to our emotional well-being, and it will be to theirs too if you express your gratitude directly to them. Practicing gratitude will lead to a much improved perspective on life, and I really hope that you take the time to practice this important activity and to make it a key part of your daily life.